YouTube right now. We have some really cool guests.
Everybody, listen to me. I'm gonna tell you how it's supposed to be.
All right, so once again, boys and girls, this is the Chris and Mike Show. I'm Chris, he's Mike. This is Dave and Brian from the band Duval joining us live here again on Twitch and YouTube. Happy Halloween, everyone.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween, everybody. Thanks for coming on, guys.
Hey, there you go. There you go. I see you.
Good morning,
I see all of you.
All right. Cool.
He's got the all-seeing eye.
All-seeing eye, man. So
Yes.
you guys are part of the Velocita Music Entertainment family, correct?
Yes, sir.
Which is very cool. Shout out to Bruce.
Shout
Yes.
out to Bruce.
We're
Absolutely.
excited
Thank you.
about that. We are very excited about that.
Yeah, Bruce is good people, man. We've been talking. He and I have been talking shit, man. Maybe 6 months or so. I sent him a message on Facebook, and the rest is history. He's just.
I have never
just-
talked to Bruce, but all I hear is good things through Chris. And
Yeah.
so thank you very much,
He's-
Bruce. Thanks for coming
Yes.
on, fellas. Glad
Bruce,
to have you here.
Thank you.
Bruce is our best cheerleader. I mean, he's not much to look
Ours
at,
too.
you know, but cheerleader all the time.
He's got
I
a
like
face
the
for
color.
radio.
Colored shirts. He's got the colored shirts.
Yeah. Oh, I know. We talked about that. The
Yeah,
big old
I
butterfly
love that.
collar.
I-
The old, the
Well,
old
hey,
like.
man, you know,
Yeah,
Oh,
the
those
old
are awesome,
70s.
man.
Yeah.
like this, just need a rocket, you know.
Yeah. Old 70s style.
Yes.
So we're basically here today. We're going to talk about the band Duval because we're all about. Am I saying that right? First of all, Duval.
Duval.
Yeah, Duval.
Duval,
Duval.
okay.
It depends on which part of the country
Wherever
you're
you're from, if you're from Canada, you know, it'd be de
Hey.
I guess.
Yeah.
Duvele.
Yeah, and then
We don't care how you pronounce
Right,
it.
yeah.
Cool. So tell us a little bit about you guys and what you're all about. What kind of music? Now Bruce did send us a couple tracks, but we don't like to spoil our listeners because we want our listeners to find you and track you down and buy your stuff and
Sure.
you know, subscribe to your channel, things like that.
Yeah.
So just
Yeah.
give us the whole band, you know, details and whatnot, and you know what's going on in your guys' world and where you're headed.
Yeah.
You want to start?
Sure.
I'll
Well,
give my version of it will be shorter.
go ahead, bro.
I'm a California kid. He's Oklahoma boy. So I came out here a couple years ago to Tulsa.
Okay. Oh,
And I love the music community here. Dave and I met in a Led Zeppelin tribute band
sweet.
out here in
Awesome.
Tulsa, Let's Zeppelin. So
Right.
I was the new Robert Plant and he was the new Jimmy Page.
Right
and
on,
that's
dude.
how we met about a year ago, actually.
That's
only
really
a
cool.
year and a half ago.
My favorite
Cool.
band, for the record.
Yeah.
There you
Yeah.
go.
One of my
Wow.
top. Yeah. My top 3 for sure.
Yeah.
Can't get
My
enough.
first-
Can't get enough of Zeppelin, man.
Zeppelin and yes. So that's how we met. And
Okay.
I was a new kid in town and Dave has been, he's been playing guitar around for a long time. So we just
Okay.
he and I hit it off. We just really hit it off. And then Dave had some songs that
Okay.
he needed some vocals on.
Nice.
So I put my vocals on. We went in the studio. I put my vocals on some of these songs, and he's been writing a lot. So we've got lots of songs. We've got about 12 songs now,
Cool.
almost in the can. So we've just been, figuring out what to do and figure out what to do with those songs. And I'm glad that Bruce and Velocita likes them, and everybody else that's listened to them seems to like them. So
Yeah, we like
I
'em.
think,
I
this
really
guy
like the
doesn't-
two that you sent us, man. They were
Yeah.
Well, Duval,
Yeah.
Dave
Thanks, man.
Duval, I'm going to call him Duval because the
Yeah,
band is
Duval.
Duval.
Yeah.
He doesn't know how not to write a hit.
Oh, right on.
So we've got 12 hits.
No pressure, Dave. No pressure, man.
Can I tell you what I told Chris
Oh,
and see what you guys' reaction is?
Hey.
I've been in,
Hold-
many bands since I was 14 years old. And
Yeah.
Dave's been in many bands. But when Dave just started playing me some of the songs that he wrote, I was like, I like every one of them. And
Nice.
that's very unusual to like every song that's thrown at you right after you meet somebody. So there was a connection, immediately. And we've been in the studio working on these songs, and I'm excited about them. And that's where we're at right now. That's where we're
Cool.
at. So
So go ahead,
for
Mike.
me,
Mike.
First time he was such a great singer. We literally showed up to first Led Zeppelin rehearsal, his first rehearsal, my first rehearsal,
Yeah.
and it was like, who the heck are you? Who the heck? You know, anyway. But yeah, we didn't know each other. And, but it was after that first, you know, we just only had 1 or 2 rehearsals and we did a show.
Yeah, we don't rehearse that much. We make that a rule that we don't
Cool.
rehearse.
Right. And we did a show together, but we kind of had a rapport on stage, really, you know, like,
Not
and-
just as Robert Plant and Jimmy Page. We
Right.
had a Duvall, Brian, Phil Miller kind of thing
Yeah.
happening at the same time.
it was happening.
So,
And so
it was a cool thing to happen. You know?
but I was kind of stuck dead in the water as far as, you know, original material. I meet Brian. He's the perfect voice for the song. It's just we just got lucky with the right persona, right voice, the songs, we
energy.
got Monty Anderson on bass and Trey Barnes on drums, and I've known Trey for a long. I've known Monty even longer. Anyway, so I introduced Brian to them, and it's just been going click, click, click ever since. All we have to do, only time we get slowed down, we have to wait for, like how studios are. We have to wait for mixing and mastering, and you know, you have to get in line, and
Yep.
Chomping
that's
at
all.
the bit.
Yeah, just chomping at the bit. That's what
Yeah.
we're doing right now. It's
Yeah.
waiting on song. But we are. Should I tell them about the EP?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we are. But we do got 6 that are mastered and going to go out on an EP, just to kind of like a
5 or 6.
yeah
Yeah.
5 or 6.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, 5.
Yeah.
Where
Yeah,
something like
whatever
that.
the magic number is.
Yeah. So Bruce.
I think I think the magic number for EPs is 8. I think it's 8
5.
songs on an EP.
Is it
Is it
8?
5? It's 5?
5.
I think it's
I thought it was
5.
no, EP is
Mike says it's 5. Mike
Yeah,
says it's 5.
5 is what.
5, and I'm
Okay,
standing
5.
by it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mike says 5.
Now, now when we release the album, it'll probably
Yeah.
have 12. Mike.
Yeah,
guess,
sure.
Like that.
Sure.
And then we got a bunch of other material for like album after that.
Oh yeah.
But,
Okay.
but
We
all
got-
those songs hadn't even
We
started.
got pretty much physical graffiti written.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
We'll have to roll it out. We'll
Right
have to
on.
roll it out in increments. You know.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
So
That's,
so
by the way, that's a really
Yeah.
good problem to have too
It
many
is.
songs
it
to
is.
choose from.
Oh, agreed. Agreed. So Mike
Yeah,
Mike
I-
wanted to make a comment earlier about something you said about songwriting.
Well, something that
yeah,
Dave just said that you say all the time too is the chemistry. If there's no, it doesn't matter. You can think about all the super groups that have been put together,
That is
right?
everything. Chemistry is
Yeah.
everything.
Well-
it absolutely is.
To have the guys that are all kind of on the same page musically, you know.
By the way, what you just said, Mike, there's no secret formula, as you know,
No.
in this industry. However, if you look at the iconic bands that are still going, the Stones, Aerosmith, AC/DC, regardless of who is in the band right now, the original guys that started that musical
Yeah.
journey all had chemistry.
Yeah.
And it's something that gets talked about, but you can't manufacture that.
Yeah.
You can't create chemistry. It's been tried before by many a record label and it doesn't work. Sometimes it works, but it doesn't last. So chemistry is absolutely everything. And
Right.
they say image is everything. Well, image is a lot too, but if you don't have, like you said, you can put 4 of the most talented people in a room, musicians, and if one chink in that armor doesn't work with the other 3, it will not work. I had a pretty high profile audition for STP
Oh,
and
right on.
Dragon Force and
Wow.
Velvet Revolver. Now, because of who I am, I probably shot myself in the foot. But what I said was to some of these guys that I was auditioning for is I don't want to be your former singer because
Right.
I can't be your former singer because you guys had the chemistry. So if I'm going to be the new guy fronting your band, I got to be me. And I know who me is.
Well, that's
And if it-
that's a
if it
point that
doesn't
Chris
fit-
always makes.
Yeah.
He's always careful to say, and I am too, we're not the best musicians in the world. But when you put the 4 of us in a room together,
Right.
something magical happens.
There's something.
He's
Yeah.
the singer and the voice for the band Nemesis, right?
There you go.
And that's all we ever professed to be. He didn't profess
Yeah.
to be, you know, I'm the next Jeff Tate or I'm the next Robert Plant or, you know, he's like, I'm the next Chris Dunham because that's who I am, right?
There you go.
Before I forget to make my point, when you guys sent us those songs, and it's even more cool now because knowing that you guys are into the same kind of old school music that I was, I don't know if this is going to be a compliment or this is just my first impression, but
We'll take it as a compliment.
your music is almost like the Romantics and the Talking Heads had a baby.
Oh my God. Yeah, that is so, dude.
Okay, so wait, I'm gonna tell you what songs Bruce sent us before you respond to that.
And that's so cool in my opinion
yeah,
because
yeah.
I love both those bands, the Talking Heads especially, because
Right.
what talented musicians.
So,
Right.
so,
So Bruce,
my-
hold on. So
Oh, go
Bruce
ahead.
sent us Bruce sent us Merry Go Round, and he sent us Come Knock on My Door.
Okay. Oh,
Both
Oh,
outstanding.
okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
I didn't know he was going to say
That was
Well,
that's
yeah,
probably one
no.
of the singles. That's one of my personal favorites. but,
Outstanding.
Yeah.
So the thing is
Yeah, funny.
for a long time, I got pigeonholed as a heavy metal singer.
Okay.
Maybe about 15 years ago, because I was doing some metal things, but
Okay.
I don't like to call myself a heavy metal singer.
Nor does
I
Chris.
just call myself
I
a
don't
rock
either.
and roll
Yeah,
singer.
I don't either.
you know?
Yeah,
He
thank
does
you.
too.
Rock and roll. Yep, rock and
And
roll.
I'm fans of all music. I mean,
Right.
we grew up with all this great music, and yes, absolutely. So you know, talking about chemistry and talking about the writing process and talking about all these things it's funny that my buddy Sean. I'm going to give a shout out to Sean Sonnenschein. He plays in the band Trapped, and he
Oh,
he
great
showed.
band. I love those
when-
guys.
Great band.
Yeah,
Outstanding.
when he heard Aelia, another song that we have, he called me and he goes, "Dude, it's like the Police and the Knack had a baby."
Oh, nice. Oh,
And I'm like,
very
wow.
nice.
So what you
That was
just
the Clash, wasn't it?
no, he
No,
said
that
the
was the
police.
Knack?
He said the
Okay.
Police and the Knack.
Okay.
You know, my Sharona. So it's
Yeah,
funny
I can
because
hear that too.
You just said, it's
Yeah.
like the Talking Heads.
And the
and the
Romantics had a
Romantics
baby.
had a baby. So I had to just laugh about that because it's.
At first, I told him the Talking Heads, but we opened up for the Romantics, and they had so many songs that I had forgotten about, other than Talking in Your Sleep, right?
I've done so many shows with Mike Skill. I was in a band called the Famous Faces up in Portland, Oregon, and we did many shows with Mike Skill.
Cool.
And he's just an amazing
Awesome.
guy. Yeah, and we love the Romantics. So, well,
Yeah, when
we
they
did-
started jamming, I was like, wow, I'm into the deep cuts, the songs that nobody listens to, right? And
Yeah,
they played obviously all their hits, but then they
Uh-huh.
started playing a lot of this just straight ahead rock and roll stuff. And
just
I'm
said
like,
that
what an
to Dave.
outstanding band.
oh man,
That's when you really find out how good a band is, when you get
Damn right.
into the deep cuts. And so
Yep.
often, when it's a great band like that, you find out. That's how you find out how good they are.
Dave and I just had this conversation yesterday about the Romantics. So it's really
We
funny
certainly
that,
did.
that you,
No lie.
that you brought that up. That is very
That's-
funny because we just talked.
I could
about
tell
that.
the genuine reaction you guys just had
Yeah.
to my
And
comment, so that's
honestly,
awesome.
And I'm going to throw you another,
Bones.
sidebar. I had no idea when we're recording these songs. I wasn't thinking about any of those bands.
No,
I
wait, no,
wasn't
but you
trying
don't
to-
though. No,
Huh?
but you don't try. We're the same way. You don't write music to sound like somebody else. You write music that pleases you,
Right.
and it's tied to you emotionally in
Right.
some way, shape, or form.
Yes.
Because you're like me, Brian. I write all the lyrics and the melodies
Yeah.
and stuff. Mike does takes all that and then runs with it.
Yeah.
But you and Mike and I've talked about it before with Nemesis anyway. When every song we played, Mike would sit back there and he could tell I was becoming that song because every song I wrote had a purpose in life and was
Right.
written you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
he's made the comment a couple shows ago that he could see my character for each song. So you don't go into a studio, you don't write music and think, oh, this is going to be like the Romantics or this is going to be like the Talking
Yes.
Heads. Or,
In fact,
or
I
this is-
can't.
Yeah,
you know,
right.
you just
I
have
don't
that influence. I think just comes through naturally because
Right. Right.
that's what you grew up on and that's what you're drawn to, and so that just
Yeah.
comes across on some level anyway.
I'm
Absolutely.
very lucky. Yeah, I'm very lucky as a singer because I got a guitar player who I don't want to know what Dave's process is. Just like I don't really like talking about my process. I have guys that come up and go, "How do you sing? How do you sing like that? How do you do that
Yeah.
thing? How do you channel Robert Plant?" I'm like, you know what? I love you. Thanks for coming to the show. That's private.
Yeah.
That is my
Yeah.
personal thing. I
Thank
don't
you.
like to talk about the process because I feel like it's kind of like a holy thing where
Mm-hmm.
you don't want to talk about that because it's kind of like it's personal for one thing, and two,
Yep.
you know, I just feel like if I talk about it, I'm messing with the muse
Thank
a
you.
little too much. You
That's
know?
why I don't like.
And
That's why I don't like bands telling people what their songs are about.
See,
what the
that's
actual
exactly-
like I've said it
you go.
before when Draymond dropped the bomb on the Sickness from the Disturbed song,
Oh,
the
yeah.
Sickness, and how it's not really about his mother and it's
I
not
know.
really about abuse. It's like what
I
the
know.
fuck, man? Like
Yeah.
you can't do that.
No,
You cannot do that because
And-
the interpretation is everybody's interpretation is different, and that's why music is what it is, man.
that's
You-
exactly right.
Yeah,
You want
yeah.
people
So-
to own it for themselves, you know?
Thank you.
Don't
Yes.
flaunt it, let 'em own
Yes.
it.
You hear
Don't-
this, Draymond? You hear this, Dave?
Yeah.
Come on, man. I'll challenge you too.
Hey, listen. Don't mess with my childhood.
Right.
Don't tell me that Kiss Alive is not a live album.
Thank
okay?
you.
In
Right,
my
yeah.
opinion, it's
Right.
a live album.
Right.
And that's what I
Right.
grew up with. And
Damn it,
Yep.
yeah.
It's a damn live album.
Yep. It's just like the moon landing. Don't tell me it's fake because I believe it was real.
Yeah.
I don't want to mess with that. But you know, Duvall comes up with so many ideas and melodies and lyrics too. It's kind of like a Rick Nielsen, Robin Zander
Oh,
situation in some
it
ways,
is,
where
yeah.
where he brings me songs. I try to invoke, you know, and relate and connect to
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
the material. Then I might come up with some things. I come up with my own melodies. I come up with
Yeah.
something on the spur of the moment when
Oh,
we're
yeah.
recording, as you know. You
Yep.
don't know. I never know how I'm going to sing a song. I might rehearse a song a certain way when I'm learning the song, but then when I get in
Yeah.
the studio, I sing something totally weird that I never even. It just comes into my head
Yeah.
at the last minute. Oh, I'm talking about the process. Sorry, I didn't mean to go there.
No, but but everybody's process
But-
is different, man. Like when how Mike and I would work, we kind of had a different dynamic than you guys. I would bring him a song. I'd write lyrics and I'd be like, here,
Yeah.
take this. And Mike is the only guitar player, and I've said it 1,000 times, that had the innate ability to take whatever I wrote and match it musically and match that
Wow.
emotion and the vibe that I wanted it to be.
Right.
And I already kind of had a melody in my head, and 9 times out of 10, what he came up with, my melody that I already had in my head would fit it. I may have to
Yeah.
adjust little pieces here and there,
Right.
or the length of a verse or length of a chorus, but for the
Yeah.
most part,
Uh-huh.
it literally, it was like you said, Xander, Nielsen. You know, I'm not saying we're McCartney and Lennon, but it kind of has
Yeah.
that. You gotta have that yin and yang
Uh-huh.
to it, right?
Yes.
You gotta have it just makes it that much more powerful. I think
Exactly.
when you write the
Right.
song and it comes across like the song you heard when we started our show. We wrote that 30 years ago,
Wow.
right?
Right on.
And everybody who hears that, like, holy shit, that's 30 years old.
I know, because it sounds like it could be now.
Yeah,
And it was
hey,
Thank you.
right. Thank you. Thank
He
you.
says that all the time.
that's why
Yeah.
I
To me.
told Brian about,
It's-
if
Yeah.
if I had a song that I wrote 3 years ago, but if it's not recorded, or if, let's say it's the instruments are recorded but not the vocals, then hey, it's brand new, dude. Nobody's
Yeah.
heard it.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And, but what
Yeah.
you're talking about, like writing kind of a big factor for me is vibe.
Yes,
If there's a
for
guitar riff, it already kind of suggests so much in your mind. It puts you to
Imagery.
time and place imagery.
Yeah.
And it might be one time or place for me, and it might be a different time or place for Brian. He's going to sing it, so
In
he
fact,
runs with it for where he's at.
Yeah.
I don't want to know what the songs are about.
Right.
So I interpret it how I interpret it, and Dave interprets it how he interprets it, and the audience will interpret it how they interpret it, and I'm not going to argue either way.
Yeah.
That's
It's
always
all
my
what-
example. 25 million people might hear a song and interpret it 12.5 million different ways, right?
Yes.
You're going to
true.
have repeats over and over again.
That's it.
Yeah, you don't want to. Yeah,
to-
you'll get some commonality.
But to both your points earlier, everybody should be able to interpret the song that Chris wrote or the song that you wrote, Brian, the way that at least the lyrics should be interpreted however they want, right? That music
Correct.
invokes an emotion in
Right.
them
Yep.
that it may have been happy in the songwriter's eyes, and somehow now it's sad for this person.
Right.
That person should be able to feel however they want when they listen to that song. That's the
Right.
purpose of art, right? It's no
Yes.
different than a painting on a wall,
That's
especially
it.
an abstract painting. Somebody's going to
That's
interpret
exactly
it
it.
1,000 different ways.
Yeah.
Everybody watches their own movie.
Yeah.
That's a great way of putting it, for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah. In fact, I've heard artists will sometimes comment on what inspired them on a song, like a nationally known artist. And I'll go, where the hell did that come from, man? Like I had a completely different idea.
Right.
And
That's why I don't. That's why I don't like when people share the reasoning behind
I
their
know.
song,
Like,
because
like,
it takes the mystery away. Like Mike and I've talked about it before. That 20 years ago, or
Get up
even
on your mic there.
30 years ago, like when
There you
when you'd go to concerts, right? You didn't have the MTVs and shit, so you didn't know what the band looked like aside from the
Correct.
from the vinyl jacket, right,
That's
or the
right.
cassette tape. So then you go to the show, and the lights go out, and
Mm-hmm.
then whatever they have intro, then I mean, and you can remember this, the entire crowd in unison just start screaming.
it's
Because
could
they know
feel that
it's,
energy.
right? The energy and the vibes, and I'm getting goosebumps now because it's
Me
just
too.
I
like
know.
you don't get that anymore. It's gone
are-
because
we are-
social media has destroyed all that. But that's
we are
that
so, it's right.
that's that thing, man. That's that unique
We're-
capture moment,
The, you, Chris and Mike and me and Duval here are very lucky that
Yeah.
we grew up
In
when
Right.
we
He
did.
just made that point a few episodes back, and it just hit me like a ton of bricks. I was like, he's so
It's-
right. No generation again will ever experience what he just
They will
described. You
not.
just can't.
Yeah.
They will not, and that's why we wanted to have. Well, I don't want to talk about that too much, but I mean, it's I don't do a lot of social media. I don't. I like mystery. If you destroy
Yeah.
mystery with any band, I think that's the beginning of the end. So I don't mind. Like, this is fun. We're doing
Yeah.
this thing, and we're not trying to be. We're old enough to know who we are. We're
Right,
not trying to
absolutely.
be somebody we're not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's I like Ghost, and I like of course Kiss and the Motley Crue, and I grew up with Alice Cooper and David Bowie. I
Yep.
like all those people, but we don't need another one of those.
No.
And so we're not trying to be something we're not, but we're still young enough to want to bring fun and romance back to rock
Yeah.
and roll, or
Yeah.
have that in rock and roll.
And I
Yeah,
can hear
so-
that in your music for sure. So you guys, if that was your goal subconsciously, you've succeeded. And I know that from two musicians, when we're giving out examples of who you sound like, the main reason I give you two bands is because you really don't sound like either one of those bands. But I feel it's a respect thing, right?
Yeah.
Like if I have to say what genre I'm going to put you in,
Yeah.
I found it odd when you said, "Hey, I met in a Led Zeppelin tribute band," and then you write a song that's closer. You're writing songs that are closer to that
Yeah.
mysterious kind of
Yeah.
side of pop, right?
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
best way I
Yeah.
can describe it. The Talking Heads are the best version of pop. The Romantics
Right.
are the best version of pop. The Pixies were the
yeah.
best version of that sub pop culture, right?
Yeah. The most exciting thing for me, when I heard the songs for the first time, when we were just listening to demos before I recorded vocals on them, was I don't know how to categorize these.
Right.
Right.
And then my heartbeat started getting a little faster beating because I like that. We have a song that Dave has. We recorded it. It's not mastered yet, but it's called "Something's Wrong." I think it would be closer to if Led Zeppelin recorded an R&B song.
Wow. Right
It
on.
would be maybe like described in that way, but I'm excited to find out what people think about these songs because they are cross genre, I would say, or
Yeah.
genre bending, if you want
Absolutely.
to call it that. You know what I
It
mean?
kind of
Yeah.
it kind of marries like there's probably four main genres I would guess, but yeah, the R&B side we had actually there something's wrong. It's like a slow bluesy song, something that almost Motown,
Yeah.
and it's I don't know, and it's emotion.
Yeah.
It's a 4-piece rock band playing it, but it yeah, you'll just
It
have
has
to trust
that-
me on it.
It has
But
that
then-
vibe for sure.
but then there's
It's
a-
got that vibe. Yeah.
But Anonymity, which is a really funky, it's a funky song.
Oh, I know what I wanted to say real quick too. Just back to the songwriting and what the songs were about. You
Yeah.
know, we all know that McCartney wrote "Let It Be" for his mother. Okay,
One of my
Love that
favorite
song.
songs ever.
Yeah,
Now,
one of my favorite
there-
Beatles songs
so
ever.
there's an example of, you know, you. It's almost like as a Beatles fan, I wanted to know what that was about, and you get it, you can get it,
Yeah.
but I mean, to hear Paul talk about it and what it meant to him, you know, there's that side too, which
Yeah,
is
that's
maybe,
true, too.
maybe perspective.
Paul
or something,
McCartney
you know?
gets away with
I-
some things that other musicians don't get away with, right? Did you guys ever see the documentary that Dave Grohl did on
Yes,
Sound City?
yes, yes.
That scene at the end I just described to
Oh
a
my
friend of
God.
mine at work where they're recording that song and Dave Grohl
Yeah.
was like, geez, I wish it
Yeah.
was this easy all the time. And without missing a beat, Paul McCartney says, well, it is, you know?
Yeah, I know.
And Dave Grohl's
It-
like, yeah, if you're Paul fucking McCartney, it is. He's like, for
Right.
the rest of
Same,
us
dude.
mere
He's
mortals,
like,
writing songs is a hard process.
Paul,
freaking alien.
Paul doesn't exist in this universe.
Yeah, man.
So if you want to see something really cool, if you haven't already, watch Get Back.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
I watched it. Yeah.
That
Oh, yeah.
series that
Yeah.
Peter Jackson did.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It is I've watched it 100 times.
Yeah, I love that.
Because I'm not going to spoil it for anybody who hasn't seen
Mm.
it, but what you will see in that movie, regardless of anything you've heard about the Beatles,
Right.
will all be proved wrong in that show, and it is eye-opening, and that is why I've watched it so many times, because you see one Beatle, and that Beatle is not from Earth, and even the other three acknowledge it, and you can see them looking at that Beatle with amazement, and that is anyway. I'll leave it at that.
You
But
know, there's
it's-
another
it's-
thing
it's
about
unbelievable.
McCartney that reminds me of the whole. You guys are musicians. We're musicians. The whole being a musician thing. It's like I think he was about to go on stage. Somebody had a camera, you know, backstage, and I thought to myself, you know, he owns a freaking island, but when he walks on that stage, he's just another band member.
And he
He's got
acts
to play
as
good.
he
play
acts
right.
as such.
He's got to hook up with the drummer. He's got to, you know, hook up with the other guitar player. He's got to sing in key. He can't be tired. He can't be, you know, wasted. you know what I mean? He's got.
Yeah.
He's in the same boat we're all in when we step on that stage, and he asked for that. He's not trying to
No.
prove himself.
That's a
Hell,
good-
he's
that's a good
Beatle.
point.
And it is a great point.
And man, I just saw he was just here in Oklahoma because we now here in Tulsa Oklahoma City has always had a big arena for big acts like Paul McCartney or the like. But over the last 10 years, we've had the BOK Center, and he's been here several times. But there's a video. I have to do a little shout out. There's a video he did, a little selfie video, and I think he's at one of our parks, you know, and he goes, "I'm here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. It's middle of October, and it's 80 degrees." I go, "Yeah,
Oh, it's bloody not Liverpool.
yeah, it's
It's,
freaking 80 because it was, man. We've had some good weather, you know.
Yeah, crazy.
But yeah, we got to, you know, so Tulsa got put on the map a little bit by Paul
Nice.
McCartney.
Well, I'll
I
tell
just
you
said it
something that
earlier.
you just said, Brian, before I forget, that I never really thought about either. You made a good point. For you and Chris specifically, you guys hear music before it becomes a song, right? And it's one thing that I've always said that I came to terms with real quick as just writing music is that the song that I write as a musician is never going to be what I present to Chris as a lyricist, right? He's going to change it to
Yeah.
fit the melody
Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
timing that he requires for these certain sections. I
Right.
came to I'm fascinated with the amount of musicians who are just like so super glued, for lack of a better term, to this structure, right? And I'm not changing
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
such a that
You know what the
rigid
formula-
mentality is so
You,
stupid.
yeah. You know what the formula is? There ain't one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's it. That's
I think
it.
Jerry Garcia said it best. He said, I bring a song to the dead, and it's never the same song that I brought to him, but somehow it always comes out better.
Yeah.
Good for him, man.
Yeah, right. Right.
Yeah.
That is so true. That's so important.
Yeah, our
There's-
drummer told me that quote, and I it just rattled around in my head. I'm like, yeah, just
Yeah.
present it to the guys and let
Uh-huh.
it be, right? Just let it
Right.
breathe,
Yeah.
Yep.
become
Yeah.
whatever it's going to become.
It's gonna. That's it. It is. It's gonna be
Yeah.
whatever you don't even imagine it's gonna be.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the cool thing about what we do, what we all do.
Yep.
Trying to create and express and phrase. Chris. As a singer and it's phrasing.
Yeah.
What word do you choose that sounds better? That means something.
How
the
long do
same?
you hold that ending
Yep.
out?
Yep.
What's
How do you
gonna-
start that phrase?
all of that how
Yep.
it rolls off the tongue, or is that
Yep.
awkward, or do people even talk like that? Oh,
Right.
well, maybe they will now.
The endings of his phrases always grab me because they would lead me into something, or they would lead the drummer into something. They would lead one of us into these really cool
Yeah.
parts. He'd
Yeah.
just be like,
Yeah.
bear with me, check it out. Here's what we're, can we just extend that out just a little bit further,
Man,
And at the end, it would always work. It would just be so cool.
you're making something up at the moment.
Yeah.
And then guess what? If you're recording that, good luck trying to duplicate it.
We
Yeah.
just talked.
That's yeah.
That's how relevant this whole thing is that we're doing right here. Chris and I were talking about that before you guys got on here. I was like, I'm trying to recreate a song, the one you heard,
yeah.
that we
Again, it's
wrote
30 years
ago.
old. 30
Right.
years.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
like, something's just missing, and I'm hearing all these little nuances that I did on the guitar as a 22-year-old,
Uh-huh.
just starting out recording.
Yeah.
Like, who is
Yeah.
this guy? Son of a bitch.
Yeah, but be careful. I'm just going to say this: be careful messing with something that was good
Yeah.
already.
Yeah.
I've
And
heard
I-
so many.
I agree with you, but I don't have any way to, like, that was recorded on an 8-track that I don't
Yeah,
have the reels to
right.
anymore.
Reel
I
to
don't
reel.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, yeah.
Oh, I ran the
Yeah.
same thing, man. Yeah, playing at home. I use GarageBand on this very iPad.
We're going to do the
I-
best we can to make it sound like it did back then. I mean, I know it's going to be different, and I've come to
Yeah,
terms with
sure.
that, but I
Sure,
just
yeah.
want to capture enough of
Uh-huh.
that
Yeah.
original
Yeah.
magic.
Yeah.
If you
See,
feel
Nemesis.
it-
Yeah. Nemesis is
Yeah, you-
around before all of this technology.
Uh-huh.
So the
Right.
stuff we did with some life circumstances and whatnot, Mike lost all of the catalog, all the recordings, everything.
Right.
So what you hear are just random things he has. That legit was recorded 30 years ago with 8-track. I
Wow.
sang the vocals in his bathroom.
It's
you know,
In
amazing,
my
yeah.
apartment.
Yeah.
Right. It still carries through, but we
Uh-huh.
want to be able to put this stuff
Yeah.
out. We want to be like,
Oh,
hey,
sure.
all the
Yes.
platforms for music now.
Right.
Hey, here's
Absolutely. Yeah.
Because some of our yeah.
And that's the
Yes,
other thing that I'm proud of as not only a musician and a songwriter, but the fact that you guys hear that and you can appreciate what we were trying to achieve. I recorded all that too. It's not like we went in a studio, I did the best I could with this
Yeah.
microscopic amount like I knew enough to get myself in trouble.
Right.
Chris is
Yeah.
the one that came up with the idea, hey, I've recorded some vocals in the bathroom and I get good acoustics in there and it came
Yeah.
out really cool. Can we try it? We can try
Absolutely.
whatever you want because I don't know what I'm doing, right?
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
You
Well,
know,
And
I
it turned
gotta
out
say,
outstanding.
True, man.
I gotta say,
That is true.
when before recording at home was so convenient. I remember, like in other bands I was in the past, I'd go to. My problem with musical ideas is it's only one little, like the guitar is only one little part of the equation,
Thank
so
you.
I would have an idea, a concept in my mind. I'd go to band practice and, hey guys, what do you think about this? And play the guitar part, and they just give me this dumb look on their face, And so really,
You
this
realize
rock
I
band-
need the
this
rest
rock-
of you to make this happen, right? That's like follow
yeah,
along.
because I kind of had to build the whole concept of the song, bass and a drum beat and some lyrical and my pitiful singing or something, just a suggestion. This is,
You have no idea how profound that statement
with Brian,
is, Dave.
It's helpful to do that, like working with Brian. He could get an idea of like, well, I could just initiate a vibe, just a vibe.
That's it.
But sometimes you gotta have a drum beat and a bass, and maybe a keyboard part or something too.
Well, here's a great example, Dave. I'm giving lessons to this guy, and you break down an AC/DC song, especially like, let's say Gone Shooting. It's the same lick over and over and
Right.
over. And it doesn't sound good until, Angus starts putting his little nuances on top. The song was designed to be a certain way, and it needs both guitar players, the bass, the drums, the singer, everybody doing their little thing, because there's so many, what Chris likes to say, the open space, like you need a field in the middle of certain
Oh,
things.
yeah.
That song is a great example of, if you
What you
keep that
don't-
lick cycling around, it's the coolest thing ever. But if you speed up or slow down even ever so slightly, the train falls off the tracks.
Yeah.
But it's a great example of what you just said. It's not really that great on its own. It takes the whole to make, and that was our goal, was to make a song, not a great riff, not a great lick, not a great vocal. We wanted a great song.
You're baking a cake. You're
Thank
baking
you.
a big
Yeah.
old, beautiful, best cake
Right.
you've ever had in your life. Cake.
Yeah.
And I think
Yeah,
that's what
for
gives
some
this
reason,
legitimacy
people don't
here.
Like tequila in their lemon sponge cake.
I do, but I'm probably unique in that way.
yeah. Yeah, that's
Funny.
that's what.
That's a good point, though. It takes all the ingredients to make
Yeah.
and the chemistry with that to make it work.
And,
Well,
you
and
know,
I think that's what makes this podcast work is, my dream was we kind of fell into the talking about addiction part because Chris and I have that in common. But the one thing
I
that
do
you're,
too. I have that in common with you all. So
congratulations,
I feel that.
I'm 20 years sober.
I'm
Mike's
about
15.
good,
15,
you.
18.
outstanding.
What
Outstanding.
what about you guys?
I've lost a lot of friends. I've lost a lot of
Yeah,
friends that
yeah.
never achieved what,
We have
what
too.
you guys achieved.
Yeah.
Because,
no, we have
and that's
to.
why I lost.
That's why we do the ending the way we do it, because we've lost a lot of people along the way to suicide and drug addiction. And but
Absolutely.
the point
I've
I
lost-
was going to make is the musician side. You're never going to get musicians to truly open up to you on a podcast, interview, show, whatever you want to call it, unless they know you've been there, right? The reason that we can talk like we've known each other for 30 years, like Chris and I have, is we've all been doing the same thing for that same amount of time, right?
That's right. That's
We
right.
understand the blood, sweat, and tears that went into
Yep.
your struggle, just like
Yeah.
you understand ours.
Right.
all the
Yeah, man.
all the Spinal Tap moments.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I was-
I've had too many
I
of
think
them.
I was
See?
telling
You thought I
you,
forgot
Chris,
about
the
that,
other
Dave?
day, as bands, like we can make 5 Spinal Tap sequels, man. And all the
Yep.
I had Spinal Tap moments before Spinal Tap was Spinal Tap.
Give us your
So
best one that you
I
remember.
totally understand it.
Yeah.
I-
What's your
yes.
Mike wants to know your best Spinal Tap moment, Brian?
Oh my God.
Oh, I got one. I got one that's kind of stupid.
Yeah, we want both your Spinal Tap moments, but we'll go
Well, I
Brian
got
first.
one. I was jumping,
Tell me yours.
bouncing.
Okay, go ahead,
up and
Dave.
down,
Go-
guys.
Yeah.
You get excited about the music and bouncing up and down, and then crash. I go through the stage. I'm about to hit right in the middle of a panel, particle board panel, and this what happens. Like we're in Oklahoma, but we're in the city of Tulsa. But you get outside of Tulsa, you better take a look underneath the stage before you go jumping on it a whole lot.
I
Oh my
have
God, I'm
too
crying.
many, my ADHD brain is hardwired for catastrophe. So I have a thing, and I had a manager that used to tell me this. He goes, "What are you doing in this video right here?" Like a live footage of a video. I'm standing on stage with my back to the audience, to the drummer, and I'm discovering that I have a price tag on my shirt or my coat. And for some reason, I'm fixated on it. And I'm totally forgetting that I'm performing in front of an audience. And I'm like, oh, by the way, this is a nice Christian Dior, $9.99 I paid for that. What is in my brain, this is what's going through my brain.
Hey, see, my wife
Like,
would appreciate
people go, what do you think about when you're on stage? I'm like, you don't want to go there. I can't even talk about it because it's like I can't even hardly talk about it. But I
See,
had
that's the benefit of how Mike and I would write our music, because every song I wrote was a timestamp of a point in my life.
right.
So whatever song we were playing, I was in that moment in my life, whatever it
Yeah.
was. So
Right.
that's where that's always where my thoughts were what that song was about. It was
Yeah.
my thing was between songs, and like we would come out and play 3 songs back to back to back, not say a word to the crowd.
Oh,
And then
'cause-
once we
yeah,
finished the 3rd song, the crowd's just like hair blown back, like holy
yes.
shit. And then I would say something, but to me it was always I don't want to be that cheesy guy. How's everybody doing tonight, Phoenix?
Right.
You know, because I mean,
Thanks for
everybody
coming
does
out.
that, right? So
What to do, what not to do.
right, so that was my only weird thing of don't ask what I'm doing on stage, because then I would start thinking, well, what do I say tonight? You know,
I
mean,
know.
it's- yeah,
Exactly. No,
Yeah.
I guess, I mean, I'm going to answer the question now. The biggest
Yeah.
Spinal Tap moment that I ever had, it's a little bit emotional, but I'm not going to get emotional because it's a happy ending. But real quick,
Okay. Yeah.
I was playing on stage with a guitar player who I could tell was not right before he got on stage. And he literally died.
Oh fuck.
This was a 2-night gig that we were playing.
No.
This was Friday night. He died. He literally died for a few minutes.
Wow.
The next night, he was very much alive, and he
Yeah.
played the best show we've ever played.
Wow.
Don't ask me how. I can't explain it. It's like he had a Keith Richards moment. And it was unbelievable. We went
That
from
is
like the worst show
crazy.
we ever did to the best show we ever did. So that's just crazy. But that happened. That actually is a true story.
And he never found out why he
Oh,
collapsed?
yeah, he did.
Oh,
No, we did. Yeah,
okay.
we knew, yeah. We knew,
Okay.
yeah.
Right, chemical.
But that's a whole nother chapter, probably another show for another
Oh.
show. But I, I
See,
can tell that my,
apparently I'm not awake yet. He had a Keith Richards moment. I'm with you. We're all on the same page
yeah.
now.
No,
Okay.
even me. I know. I
You
need more
guys were
coffee.
there. I caught up.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is
But we've had many. I'm sure between the two of us, me and Duvall, we can talk about Spinal Tap.
my funniest one was,
Because we
and
have a lot of them.
years ago when I was a kid, we were showing up some bar. I guess it was here in Tulsa anyway, and we're loading in, and there's this chick on the phone, and she's talking on phone, and she's not really looking at us. She goes, "Band's here, so we're gonna leave." Great,
Keep that in there.
awesome.
I'll tell you my best one,
And
and it was the worst. As a guitar player, it was embarrassing, and Dave will appreciate this. I knew I'd pick the right 3 guys because my main guitar got stolen. I got another guitar that had a floating tremolo on it, right? It had a Floyd Rose that floated.
yeah,
And I didn't realize that when you broke a string that your entire guitar went out of tune because I had never experienced that before. And we're on
Right.
stage right in the middle of playing Vision, which is, guitar driven. It needs the guitar. Right before I go to play the solo, pop the string. It's all out of tune. I run backstage. These guys carry on like warriors. I mean, the crowd went crazy because Chris was-
what a great
Chris
group of
stepped
guys,
up and
man.
just, became the man of the hour. But it taught me something. Number one, you got to have at least one backup guitar
Yeah, I
and
learned that
number
too,
two,
brother.
to block
Yeah.
that thing off because I rarely pull that bar back,
The show must go on.
When you're young,
And see, that goes back to what we talked about earlier, the chemistry and connection. Because if we didn't have that, they wouldn't understand that I had the ability to improv whatever song I was doing, right? So I could take Vision wherever I wanted to take it during the time it took him to replace that string,
Yeah.
and it doesn't miss a beat. Now, if you'd seen this before, you're like, well, this is different. Where's Mike? But if
Yeah.
it's the first
Yeah.
time if the first time you had saw
Everybody
us
stops
that
playing
night,
and looks for Mike.
right? Right.
Yes.
But
That's
if
the
you
worst
hadn't-
case scenario.
Yeah.
Right. But if you hadn't seen us before, then you're just thinking, okay, this is the singer. He's just going off on a tangent.
Yeah. There you go.
You know what I mean? So it
Oh,
the
yeah,
dyna-
man.
So the dynamic of it works, and that's
That
the
guitar
cool thing
player
about,
must have a drug problem. He's been back there a while.
you know.
I
But
saw- yeah.
that's the dynamic you need for a band,
Like,
and that's where you
Mike,
go
turn
back.
up,
You can
man.
have the 4 greatest musicians, like you said, in the world standing on stage, but if they don't have that, if they're not connected, it
Or
doesn't
worse
work.
yet, somebody gets pissed, right, at
Yeah,
me because I didn't prepare. These guys knew my guitar got
Right.
stolen. I didn't have a choice. I was lucky to
Sure.
have the one that I had at the time because we were all poor as shit back then,
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
so,
man.
So, Chris, what is yours? We haven't heard your Spinal Tap moment yet.
Yours
okay,
was
okay,
probably
this is
your
kinda-
theater moment, wasn't it?
Well, I'm gonna go this way. I'm gonna go this one. So we were opening up. I think it was the Marshall Tucker Band show.
Oh, I love Marshall Tucker Band.
So
actually.
so we were opening up for them, and we were at the ballroom, which was about which probably about 2,500 some odd people. Like you know,
Yeah.
a lot of bands came through there. So I'm nervous before a show, but I'm not nervous like I'm going to throw up. It's that anxious energy, right, Brian? You get that,
Right.
like you're ready to go.
Sure.
You know, you're turning on the switch. You know, I call it the Iron Dog when I go on stage. It's a different
Yeah.
personality. So I'm pacing back and forth, and Mike's tuning his guitar, and William's doing his thing. And Mike always had a cigarette in his fret, right? So, and I
Yeah.
wasn't a big smoker because singer, but I'm like, oh, that'll help me kind of chill out a bit. So I grabbed a
Sure.
cigarette and, you know,
Yeah.
nice inhale and, put it back. A
Couple times he hit it.
Yeah, like, okay, this is cool. It's kind of bring me down a bit. I'm still anxious. I'm still pumped.
Yeah.
We go out, bust out our first 3 songs, and I'm in the middle of the second song. I'm like, whoa, man, like this is okay. This is cool. And I'm like, I always had a shot of Jaeger and a Budweiser before the show. That was the
There you
extent
go.
of it, right?
Uh-huh.
So I'm thinking,
That's up,
there's no way the Jaeger and the Bud are doing this to me. There's just no
Right.
way. So I'm, we're jamming out, and I'm in this pocket, man, that
Are you supposed to
I
be able to
can't-
see the sounds, man?
Right. And I've never been in this
Yeah.
pocket before live. So I'm just thinking, I'm in the groove, man. This is one of those, all the rock gods are lined up. This is just going to be one of those shows that's just fucking stellar.
Yeah.
So, play the show, great response from the crowd and shit. Next day we go to practice. I'm at practice, and I'm explaining this to Mike, and he's just sitting there kind of fucking laughing, chuckling under his
Of
breath.
course.
Looks over at Scott. He's like, dude,
My drummer and I,
I
had
got-
the best time that night.
Sure.
but he had this neighbor that could take a Marlboro cigarette, take the tobacco out, and put marijuana in it.
Oh, yeah.
So he mixes the
how
marijuana,
to do
the
that.
Marlboro, right, with marijuana, and I haven't smoked pot in years, man.
Oh my
So
God.
I hit this thing twice, and I inhale it, and I'm fucking like, woo! I'm not like wacky,
yeah.
but
That would do
but
it.
Yes.
but that was as close as I get to like a Spinal Tap moment, because it's like you didn't realize what the fuck happened.
Oh,
But
man.
after the fact, it's like the show, because you feel the music, right? Everything's just
yeah.
kind of like you're just into it even
Elevated.
more than you already are.
Things elevated. Yeah.
So
Just see
yeah,
the sky with diamonds.
yeah. So that would be my closest Spinal Tap moment for sure.
That's
I
Yeah.
so wish that show was recorded
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
because it
Yeah.
probably
Oh,
we
man.
probably did things that night that we never did again.
Yeah, right.
Right.
I know.
Yep.
And some of them are probably really amazing moments. You never
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
There's
Oh,
probably
for
some
sure.
nuggets in there. You just
Mhm.
don't know. But
No.
I personally, I have now realized now that I feel, and I've always felt, more at home on stage
Thank
than
you.
I
Yep.
ever have in
Amen.
any house I've ever lived in.
Yep.
And I think
Amen.
that it's easy. That part is easy for me. That
Yeah. Yep.
doing that stuff is easy. That's like the easy part.
You know what I
Um,
tell people, Dave, that's funny? Because if you know me, I'm pretty introverted until you get to know me. Extremely introverted till you get to know me. But I could get up on stage right now in front of 6,000 people and play my
Right.
guitar. And the first question
Yes.
that people ask me is, how can you do that? And then I immediately make them laugh and say, because I don't have to say anything, right?
Yeah.
Man,
I
feeling-
know what I'm saying with a guitar in my hands. You can
Yeah.
know what my emotions are. Dave will say the same thing. You know how Dave and I feel just by listening to us play.
Yeah.
If we're
that's it.
sad, it's going to sound sad. If we're happy, it's going to sound happy, right?
Yeah,
Right.
it comes out, man. It comes out in your head.
Yeah, I think music for me is easy. Life has been tough.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Amen.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a thing. Yeah, getting on stage and get some confidence, like play, like don't, especially talk about like singing, not having to sing.
Yeah.
Play guitar, that's something I can do. I don't see how Brian can do it, but of
That's
course,
what they
you got
love.
boys like
That's where
Brian.
they become another person, right? Like Chris said, he becomes another person. If you, Dave, or Brian said it earlier, people ask me what I think about on stage. I have to say, as another joke, I don't really know how to play guitar because I can't tell you why I can do what I can do, right? It just happens. And I'm so
Right.
blessed that I can do that, but
Yeah.
I've never been egotistical about it because I really don't understand why I was given this gift. I just use it, right?
Yeah.
There's things I can do on a guitar that turn people's heads and they turn my head as well, right? It's like, wow, how did that just happen? That's so cool. I love that sound.
It's interesting. I have a degree in theater and music, and I
Oh, right
had
on.
the
I
opportunity
went to
to
school for
work
that.
with. I had the opportunity to work with Martin Scorsese 4 years ago when they were filming Killers of the Flower Moon.
Great
So
movie.
Fucking A.
I had a small part in that. Well, actually, I had a bigger part that got edited out. But anyway, what I got a few minutes with him, and a very few minutes with him, and I realized that he was at Woodstock. That
Yeah.
was his first film as an AD, and I was at Woodstock as a 4.5-year-old kid that
No
was
shit.
kidnapped. Yeah, that was kidnapped by my. Well, now I'm aging myself. Okay, audience out there, you can figure out how old I am. But I was kidnapped by my hippie uncle for about a week.
Sweet.
We went to Woodstock. But anyway, the
That's
conversation, he finally ended it with, okay. So what you're telling me is that, you've been pretending to be other people your whole life.
Mm-hmm.
We had a music conversation.
Yeah.
And I did a lot of journaling about that. And so when people say to me, what are you on, what persona? I said, I can't tell you that. I can't answer that. Because I might be playing a part, but it's also who I am.
That's me.
It's the ultimate of who I am that I can't talk about like now.
Yeah.
That's why on my
But-
Facebook page it says music isn't what I do, it's who I am, right?
It is. It's who I am. It's probably many different personas that make up who I am.
Yeah.
So at any given night, you don't know what you're going to get.
But yeah,
But
what
see,
you're talking about
right.
going on stage and feeling confident, Mike, was that's I think for some reason there's something comes out like a lot of people get nervous. Well, what's so funny is, man, this is kind of stupid, but kind of a story. But once I had to give at work where I worked, my day job, I had to introduce somebody. And so all I had to do was just read this paragraph. And it about ate my freaking lunch, man.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
for I gotta read this, all I had to do is read this. Whereas, at the time, just like any other time, I had 2-3 shows that week. And getting up and playing guitar for 3 hours, no problem, and but in front of a bunch of strangers, but getting up and just reading a paragraph, about 8 my
Terrifying.
lunch, I was a nervous wreck.
Yep.
And then I realized, it's just a whole different part of your personality. Yeah.
Well, I know
But I
Chris
think like Brian, his whole self is a vocalist, a singer, actor, and his whole persona is what he carries on stage.
Well,
with him.
that's the thing
And-
that those two have in common is Chris is the same way. He's a trained theater guy. He went to
Yep.
school
There you
for it.
go.
He acted,
Yep.
did a
Yep.
lot of theater.
Yeah.
The one thing
Did a-
that he
you know.
did that brought me out of my shell, I had a couple advantages. My day job, I got involved with the union and I had to go talk to people on a daily basis, right? So
Right.
that helped a lot. But then getting on here, he noticed right away, he's like, I can't do everything or it's going to be my show. It's like, this was your idea. You got to come out of your shell a little bit. You're talking to me, man.
Yeah.
We've known each other for 30 years. You're talking to
Yeah.
me. You're not talking to the world. You're not talking
Right
to
on.
anybody else. It just, that rattled around in my head. I'm like, okay, I'm
Right.
just going to focus on talking to my brother,
Yep.
I think I was
Yeah.
telling Chris that the other day when,
That's it.
like, what are we going to talk? Or I was talking
Yeah,
about,
yeah.
Ron, what are we going to talk about? And I go, man, for a musician.
Yep.
Get together.
It
What
just
else?
flows.
But
man.
that's the thing. That's what I told you. Though I said we're gonna introduce the show. We're gonna introduce who you guys are. Then we're just gonna let the conversation go where it goes. And here we are, 53 minutes into it. But that's
Oh,
the thing,
yeah.
though.
And
But
it's
that's
like-
that's the thing. People don't understand how much a conversation is so much more appealing than an interview.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Interviews are boring. Hi, Brian. How long have you been singing? Well,
Yeah.
Chris, I've been
That
singing
was
for
the
30
only
years.
hard, fast rule I had
Hey,
from
you
the
know,
beginning.
yeah.
I'm like, dude, I don't want this to become a radio show. I don't want it to become an interview show. The best way I could describe it was, this is our playground. This is the after band practice conversations that I loved more than anything to this day ever.
Yeah.
Right? We would
Yeah,
talk
man.
about, is there fucking aliens in the world, to
Yeah.
solving the governmental financial crisis,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
Yeah.
You just talk about anything and everything. And those were
Yeah.
some of my favorite conversations because,
Yeah.
in my opinion, these were some of the smartest people I ever got to be around, right? They're musicians.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
the cool thing about that is the music and the songs that I was able to come up with from those conversations.
Yeah.
I wrote a song called Losing All the Madness because of post-band conversations about the chaos in the world.
Uh-huh.
And it's just, then you started pulling headlines out from different things like, oh shit, this goes along with what we were just talking about last week. So those just normal everyday conversations have power if you just let them be organic and let them grow and take
Yeah.
their own course.
Yeah.
So him and I were like, what if
Yeah.
we turned that into a podcast, right?
Yeah.
It's like,
Here
we are.
It's great.
It's brilliant.
It's what you just said. I don't know why I thought I'm saying this, but I've never looked at myself as a musician.
Right.
I've always looked at myself as a singer,
Mm-hmm.
and I get to play with really talented musicians.
That's the
Right.
way
I
Chris
mean,
looks
I-
at
I-
himself
you know,
too.
That's
I
same
can-
way.
I
Same
can
way.
play
Same way, Brian.
instruments.
You guys
my
are both
first
wrong,
instrument
though.
was- Yeah, I played
Mike-
piano, I
yeah,
played
yeah.
guitar, I played instrument, I played drums, but I'm not very good at those, by the way.
Let me
Right.
let me
I-
tell you why you're wrong.
yeah.
Okay. And I hate to disagree with anybody, but it's a positive reason for why you are both wrong. And Chris agreed with me when I told him this the first time. And I know Dave's going to agree with me because without you guys standing up there, there's no fucking band. It's just an instrumentalist, right? It's a drummer and a bass player and a guitar player and a keyboard and however many musicians you got, but the audience didn't come to see an instrumental band. They came to see Chris perform his lyrics and they came to see Brian perform his lyrics.
Yeah.
That's the reason they came to the show. And as long as you guys, as Chris likes to say, doesn't have lead singer disease, everything works, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of frontmen that just they let that power of without me, there's no band go to their head. I was so
Axl
fortunate.
Rose.
I'm
Axl
sure
Rose.
Yes.
I'm sure I'm guilty of lead singer moments.
Lead
But-
singer
No
disease.
doubt. I have
LSD,
no
brother.
doubt.
Well, Brian, he's
Hey,
been good.
in the year that I've known this guy, he probably could have strangled me several times.
Oh,
But the
Could strangle
beauty,
me.
the beauty of it is that once you have a bond with somebody, and he's like my big brother,
Absolutely.
so that I never had, we can say anything to each other.
Yep.
yeah.
Anything, as hideous as it is.
That's
think
why I
called-
picked
I
him to
called
do this
yesterday
with.
that,
And he'll-
Brian, I'm sorry for
Yeah.
smarting up.
He'll
And he
call-
laughed at
He'll call me and say, "Man, I'm sorry." Or I'll call him and say sorry, and he'll be like, "For what?"
me.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, it was this big production in my head.
Him and I
he
both
will
had those
remember.
moments.
So it's like,
Yeah.
okay,
That's the truth, though.
never mind. I
Yeah.
love you.
Yeah.
The weird dichotomy that
rules.
Chris and I have is I'm an empath. That's where my
Uh-huh.
gift came from.
I get that.
And he always
I'm not.
professes that he's not. So a lot of
You're not.
times I'll call him up and I'll be like, dude, I'm sorry. And
I am a super
he says, for what? And I'm
empath.
like, I was in
Yeah.
a shit mood the other day. And he's
Uh-huh.
like, I didn't notice that.
Dude,
seem
I'm a
fine to me.
super empath. I feel, Mike, I'm a super empath.
Me too.
Okay.
Yeah,
If you're an empath, I'm a super empath.
Okay, then we're in the
And-
same
and
boat
I'm-
because I
I'm an
feel other
ADHD
people's emotions.
I'm an ADHD supercharged empath.
There you
So I have to be taken down notches, probably more than I would like to admit.
You know, I tell you, music it
Great
brings
equalizer.
out the best of you, but it brings out the worst. I wouldn't say it brings out the worst. It's not you bringing out bad sides. Music, music it's such an artistic challenge. There's no right or wrong, in
It's
music.
learning to
And,
deal with those emotions that Brian and I were just talking about. You're just putting it into words, Dave. It's learning to deal with those emotions as they
Yeah.
come to you, right?
Yeah, that's
because
right.
sometimes, like Brian said, it's so much information all at once. You're like, I can't. I'm one fucking person, right?
Yeah.
How
Yeah,
can
I'm still
how can
trying
I
to do
process
that.
all this shit right now?
I'm still
Yeah.
learning. I'm still learning. how
Me
to do
too,
that.
brother.
Yeah.
Me too. Every day.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I
no,
and I
and-
fail
and-
all the time. So
Yeah.
if
No
anybody,
matter what Brian says, he's a great team player. He's
I
a
think
great
we
team
all
player.
are because we
know.
know our limitations.
I will load gear.
Me
I will
too.
load gear.
I load
He
gear.
will.
He did too.
Guilty.
I load gear.
Even when he
I
had,
didn't-
they had a hernia once, and
Oh, I didn't. I wouldn't load gear if I had a
Sit
hernia.
down.
But I load gear. I'd load gear. Nobody.
Yeah.
No, that's the thing. Now, Brian, you can agree with this because you're a singer like I am. You have to have an ego to do what we do. You absolutely have to have an ego to step on stage in front of
100%.
how many thousands of people or
Yeah.
tens of people
Yeah.
because if you got to own your space.
What's the example
But-
I
but-
always give? Nobody wants to hear Chris get up there and go, "Hey, thank you for coming out on a Saturday night. We're gonna have a big party tonight. It's gonna be
What
great."
you
Right.
just said, it is
Yeah.
it's holy ground, right?
Yeah.
What you're
Yes.
talking
It
about.
is.
It's sacred territory.
Yep.
And it's how I've always felt about it, even as a kid. I made a deal with myself when I was 7 years old that I would never get on a stage if I wasn't 110% in it.
Yeah.
If I'm trying to fake it, if I know I'm not going to hit that high A note in Green Manalishi or, you know, whatever I'm doing, I don't know that I could get on stage because I can't fake it like that. I have to be pretending that Rob Halford's going to be in the audience.
Absolutely.
And if he's in the audience and he hears me sing Green Manalishi, I want Rob to cry.
Right.
In a good way. I don't want Rob to leave going, that sucks.
Yeah.
You know,
We only had one rule
I
in the
always
band.
have thought of the audience as being who's in the audience.
Yeah.
You don't know who's going to be there.
Right.
Even on your off night, you
Right.
got to be good.
We
Yeah.
only
Yeah.
had one rule, Brian, and that was
Yeah.
that we got up there and played like it was the last gig we were ever going to play
There you
because
go.
we knew that someday it was going to be, right?
That's
Nothing
right.
lasts forever. We hoped
That's
it went
right.
on for 30 years.
You
or
could die
50
on stage. tonight.
Absolutely.
Right.
You know what I always thought too is like Tulsa, it's not a big city, you know, but for some reason there's just a lot of great guitar players here. I mean, it's probably like that everywhere, I'm sure. But you know, I often think, you know, guys talk about like thinking about the different guys that are going out playing tonight, you know, like how do I go on stage and do my thing, you know, when Steve Pryor or somebody, you know, these other guys are so awesome, you know, they're playing tonight. And my approach to that was he's not here tonight. You know, I am.
Yep.
You know,
Yeah.
so
That's how you
I'm
have
gonna
to look
throw
at it.
down for these
Yeah.
people. And actually, there's the truth of that is from the audience perspective, nobody else is there but you. You know, and
Yep.
your bandmates.
I'll tell you one of
And
my
So it doesn't really matter how killer, you know, some other bands. In fact, more great bands around, the better.
That's
And,
funny you
but
say that,
you're
Dave.
here to that night, that moment is yours, you know, take it.
I'll tell you a funny moment that is right. It just triggered a memory. We were playing at the Mason Jar one night, and I got off stage, and you know, one of the moments where it's like I gotta piss right now. So set my guitar down, went in the bathroom, and of course, you know, then the audience starts coming in because the show's over.
Yeah.
This guy's standing right next to me, drunk as fuck, of course. You know, God
course.
bless him. He looks over and he says, "That's fucking great guitar playing, dude. This is fucking you're a shredder, man. Fucking lose that belt. That's gay as fuck." I was wearing one of those studded belts like Judas Priest used to wear, you know, because I thought it was cool, and I still stand by it was cool. And I was like,
man.
I said, if that's the
Yeah.
best you got, man, okay. You said I was a great guitar player,
that's
and that's
the best
why I
way.
was here. So
I love you, man.
Yeah.
I just said, hey, thanks for coming out and buying a ticket. We appreciate your support.
So
That's
that's a good segue to what I want to ask you guys. So David, I want to know who your top 3 favorite guitar players are of all time.
Ooh, thank you.
Oh, wow. Okay. I'd have to say now, all right. A lot of guitar players would argue with me, you know, but I'm kind of come from the like kind of old school. It's tough guitar play because I work so much on creating songs, you know. But all right, let's just talk about guitar playing.
Yeah.
Not necessarily songs, you know.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know, as far as guitar playing, Jimmy
Yeah.
Page, Stevie Ray Vaughan, and then Mick Taylor, one in the Stones lineup, and now Eddie Van Halen, obviously, you know, great player, and
I love this guy.
even
right.
you know,
You just
Clapton.
hit,
I learned
you just hit a couple of Mike's favorites too.
Yeah, you're
so good
speaking my
job.
language.
which ones were your favorites, Mike?
Stevie Ray for sure. Jimmy Page, obviously. Those are
Yeah,
my,
you
and
know,
Eddie.
you know, blues doesn't really
Hendrix.
come out a whole lot in the songs, you know, that we do, that we write and that we play in Duval. But it's there, you know, it's
Yeah.
there. I think there's a few. I think some of the phrasing in the solos. I think like Stevie Ray was just so expressive.
Yeah.
You know, it's like he was having a conversation.
Speaking
and
of-
just his phrasing, like
Speaking of
every 4 notes
empaths-
or every 8 notes was a musical passage in itself. That
I
stands
think
alone.
Stevie Ray expressed himself better than anyone ever. Eddie might have come close because
Yes.
it was their reckless abandon. You know,
Yes.
there was, I don't think you could put that music to a metronome. You know what I'm saying? It was those guys swing and their feel. They were on time like a motherfucker. I'm not saying they weren't tight. They were one of the, all those guys were the tightest musicians ever, but it wasn't like what I call typewriter rock. You know, AC/DC has that swing to them.
Yeah.
Stevie Ray probably professed himself through the guitar. I agree, better than anyone else.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
very. It was kind of mind blowing. You know, people say blues, but man, there's a lot of blues artists you can go listen to. But you know, great blues. You'll never hear anybody like Stevie Ray Vaughan. That he was something
No.
different. He was Stevie Ray fan, and that doesn't necessarily mean I sit around and listen to blues all the time. I like some Freddie King songs and some B.B.
Me
King
too.
songs. I think they're catchy or they're cool and all, you know. And but I will say I like people like Doyle Bromhall Jr. He
Damn
played
right.
in Archangels. He's not as well known. He's out of Austin.
I'm a
He's
fan.
really
I love
cool.
that
He's
album
really
they did.
cool guitar player, man. He just but he's not blues either. You know, he's bluesy. All right.
It's
You
like
know?
Southern rock and the blues had a baby, right?
Yeah, very.
That's my
and-
kind of
and
music.
Psychedelic. He's
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
psychedelic.
Okay,
But,
so kind of the same question for Brian, except from vocalist standpoint, singers. Maybe your top 3 singers.
Okay, hold on. Can I talk about guitar players for a minute?
Absolutely.
No, absolutely
I'm a
not.
singer. I'm a singer. I'm going to talk about guitar players because I have a relationship. I'm obsessed. Honestly,
Okay.
I'm obsessed with more guitar players
Okay.
than I am singers.
Okay.
So,
I
okay,
love this guy too.
I'll
Yeah.
tell you what. When I was 10 years old, I discovered Richie Blackmore.
Oh yeah.
Oh, nice.
And,
Yeah.
and I,
Oh.
in fact, had a Memphis Fender Strat because I thought I wanted to play guitar. Okay, so
Burn is
I
one of
did
my
not
favorite
know-
riffs, Brian.
Okay, hold on. I'm getting there. You're reading. You and I are vibing right now. So the first album I got, Deep Purple had already broken up. I had never heard Smoke on the Water, and Richie was already on with Dio and Rainbow. Okay.
Oh,
when I
okay.
discovered Deep Purple, Live Made in Europe, 1976. Burn,
Great
Mistreated. When I heard
Oh.
Mistreated, I
What a
was
riff.
on the floor because of
What
the
a
tone.
riff.
Even as
Yeah.
a kid, I was like, wow, that something in that tone,
Yeah.
it grabbed
That
my
single
it-
coil pickup
it
cranked through that
grabbed
fucking Marshall.
my soul and all that and all those bending weird. So
which
okay,
requires such technical precision. It's
I
out,
could talk
out
about
of
it
this
all day
world.
long. But so Richie Blackmore, Ace Frehley from Kiss, God
Ooh,
bless,
yeah.
God
Yeah.
bless Ace Frehley.
Yep.
You can sing every Ace Frehley guitar solo, by the way.
Yeah.
Damn right you can.
That's really important. I'm going to say Jimmy Page and then Michael Schenker
Nice.
and,
Ooh,
and
thank
Tony,
you.
Tony Iommi.
UFO.
Tony Iommi.
yeah.
Tony Iommi from
Ah.
Black Sabbath.
Yeah.
So
Right
those
on.
are my 5 guys singers. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna.
Okay.
If I have to pick three,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just gonna randomly pick
Yeah.
Paul Stanley of Kiss
Okay.
because Kiss is the reason why I do what I do right now.
Okay.
one of the best
They are.
entertainers ever.
Paul Stanley and a great singer.
And a great
I'm
guitar
gonna
player.
go. I'm gonna go Steven Tyler, and I'm
Okay.
gonna go. I'm gonna go. God, Robert Plant.
I was gonna say you gotta go Robert
Yeah,
Plant,
I-
Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have
Yeah.
many, many, many influences.
Those are great examples of
But-
what frontmen should be, though, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, we have
Yeah.
Freddie Mercury, David
Oh,
Coverdale,
it's
Ian
endless.
Gillan.
It's endless, man. But I just
Endless.
to me it was Morrison. Morrison got me into the lyrics
Nice.
and
Jim
the structure
Morrison,
of
thank
songs.
you.
Right,
Wow.
because
Honorable
when
mention.
Yes.
right, because when I was in high school, I had an English teacher that kind of realized I had a creative side of me. So she's
a
the one that
poet.
opened up. Right, and that's what my English teacher did. She opened up the fact that I could write poems,
Nice.
and that led me. That when I heard a Doors song on what was then classic rock, I'm like, holy shit!
Yeah.
Lyrically, this is amazing. So
Yeah.
Morrison number one, Bono, and then Vedder because they all
Nice.
just kind of. I liked Bono's
yeah.
presence in the rattle and hum era. That kind of part
Yeah.
of Bono. I don't like
Okay.
Bono now. He's
Yeah.
oversaturated himself in the
Yeah.
world. He's too
Yeah.
political and too
He's
like
become
just
Bono.
fucking stay in your
He became
just stay in your
Bono.
lane, man.
He became
Rattle and
who he
hum,
is.
rattle, yeah. But rattle and hum to me, that was that was everything. Cause like you with theater as a major and I was a journalism major, it's like I learned that music is everything. I can take the theater side, I can take the lyrical side, the writing side, the
Yeah.
performance side, and
It's all
become
the same.
right.
It's all
It
the
is.
same.
It's
Well,
totally.
Chris just said something. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but you
Yeah.
just
You're
said
good, you're good.
something that made a thought trigger in my head. The 2 songs that you sent me, we've all been inundated with listening to compressed music, right? And
Yes.
being a guy who's recorded music, I've never mastered it, but I've mixed it, I've recorded it. You know, I've been involved in the studio process for thousands of hours. So I'm listening to your songs, and the first thing I think of is I fucking hate compressed music. I want to hear this song the way it was intended to be heard, right? So I put it on my surround sound, and it made it a lot better. But I still want to hear that wave file, right? I want to hear the full.
Yes.
Hell yeah, man.
You want to feel the bass.
We'll
Thank
send
you.
it to We'll
And
Yeah.
Thank you.
So
send
that's
you the
a
wave file.
yeah. So
Yes.
there's a good
Yeah,
there's a
man.
good there's a good transition because we're over an hour here. So I don't want to
Okay.
miss how people can find you, what you got coming up when your album
Yeah.
drops, if you're going on the road, things like that. So let's talk first about the first album from Duval. When's that coming out?
before the end of the year.
Okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, real
Okay.
soon.
That's going to
Okay.
be the EP.
Yeah, the
Okay.
first EP. I mean, it's
And
basically.
that'll be called Anonymous.
yeah.
Okay.
And
Anonymous.
that's
Okay.
Duval with 1L.
Yeah. Duval. Duval.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Right.
So we
And then
have
you're gonna-
Facebook, we have a
Okay.
YouTube channel, we have things, but Bruce is going to be in the process of, we're handing the reins over to our team, and
Yeah.
they will figure all that out.
They decide all that.
Yeah.
Because they want to do all the promotions. Well, Bruce, first thing Bruce did is hook us up with you guys.
So thank
Yeah.
you, Bruce,
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
it was
thank you,
such a
Bruce,
pleasure.
again, for sure.
So awesome talking with you guys, and
vice
I feel
versa,
like
man.
I feel unfortunately like I need to do this every morning now.
Did we mention
Like,
that?
like you guys have a problem every morning now. I want to have
Yeah.
coffee and do
Like,
this.
where's Chris and Mike? They haven't
Yeah.
called you.
Well,
Man,
here's
how
what
did
I'm
we
happy
get
about.
started?
You guys are the first
Before
people,
my
and
day starts.
I know everybody. I totally appreciate that compliment, and I know all the
absolutely,
musicians
absolutely.
that have been on here have had that same kind of feeling. But you
That's
guys are
good.
the first ones to say it out loud. You just made my dream of this podcast come true with that statement.
Oh, man. It makes
you.
it so much.
awesome.
Well,
I love
you
talking
just
to
remind-
musicians.
Yes.
You reminded me of how some radio interviews I heard. The questions were like, "God, where's that? What is that even about?"
That's why I don't.
But-
that's
but
why.
you
See.
guys-
Yeah.
You
That's
guys remind me
yeah.
of
yeah.
band on break between sets.
Thank you.
Having a
Yeah.
shot in the beer.
You
Sorry.
put- yeah,
Sorry.
you put-
Yeah.
you
No,
put
you're
the-
good, man.
put-
It's, but that's the thing. When I had a radio show on iHeart, and my producers would give me shit all the time because they wanted me to be focused on. It was called Real Talk USA with the real estate guy because I sell houses for a living. They wanted everything to be focused on real estate sales, and I'm like, that's not how I work, man. It's. I'd rather have conversations and get. When you have a home inspector on your show, there's only so many things you can ask them from right. But once you
Right.
start opening up, once you have the dialogue, then it's
Yeah,
like, oh
right.
shit. Then you learn so much more about the process and what they find. Instead of, well, a home inspection costs $450. I include termite with that.
Yeah,
It takes
that's
me
what I
2.5
was gonna
hours
say.
depending on
You-
the square footage. It's yeah.
His argument to his producer was, "Do you know how dry that's going to be as a show
Yeah.
if I just sit here
Yeah.
and go,
Yeah.
the interest
You-
rates are
you-
at 4.2375%?"
You write about what you know
Yeah.
Yes.
or what you don't know and want to
Right.
know, and you talk about things you love and are passionate about.
Yeah.
Well, what else
Exactly.
is there to talk about?
Yeah.
So we have 4 musicians in a room here, so to speak, and yes, this is how it's going to go.
Yeah.
Because we're telling stories, and this is what we do, man. We're all, you and Mike and Chris and Dave Duvall and Brian are all on the same. We're in this universe that is
Yeah.
unique to us.
You can't fake having been there, done that.
No.
If you
cannot.
say you were
Yeah.
in the mafia and you start telling stories, people are going
Right.
to know right away whether you really
Right.
live that life or not.
Yeah.
It's the same thing for musicians, firefighters, police officers.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
Chris always likes to say your life resume, right? We prefer talking to musicians because that's what him and I have in common for more time than anything.
Absolutely.
But if we
why-
have somebody on here that has a cool life's resume as
Right.
whatever,
Makes it easy.
it's just
When you
cool
tell
to
a story
hear
that's exactly like one of our stories.
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
the same passion for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
True. It's true.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you guys have a website?
I'm sorry. Yes.
Yeah.
We don't have a website. We just
Okay.
got a Facebook page and a YouTube
Okay, so
channel.
what's
Website's coming.
okay? What's
coming.
the YouTube channel?
We've got a domain,
Go
purchased.
ahead, tell them the
and-
YouTube. Tell them.
and,
I don't know.
and,
I
so the
tried to share
website,
that logo,
we'll
Chris.
have
It
that
wouldn't let
up
me.
and running, but that's a whole nother deal because people. Yeah, anyway.
Tell them what the Facebook page
So
is.
yeah,
Facebook
no.
page is,
Let's go back to you. Wait, hold on. YouTube. What's the YouTube?
The
The
YouTube.
YouTube channel is Duval Music.
On one word or two? I mean,
It's
you know
all
what I mean?
one word.
Okay, yeah, that's what I'm getting at because I want to be able to share your stuff here. And it's just
There's
yeah.
a little bit out there. There's a lot more coming.
Nice.
Yeah.
yeah. I'm just for what.
How long
whatever
ago did
reason
you guys
yeah.
hook up with Bruce while he's pulling this
Yeah.
up?
Yeah.
About a month ago.
Okay.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Man, Bruce is
And I
like he's a
met
go-getter. He
him-
makes me feel lazy.
I can't go into I can't go into all the details.
No,
but
you're
I
fine.
I met him through a local guitar builder
Oh,
Okay.
nice.
here in Tulsa.
Very
yeah.
nice.
We just met a great guitar builder named from Mike from Monkey House Guitars. He's made guitars
Okay.
for Peter Klett from Candlebox
Nice.
and the two
Nice.
guys from Everclear. Mike, is it
Yeah.
Everclear?
Yep.
Yes,
Davey and Art from
I
Everclear.
I know those guys in Everclear.
Yeah.
So tell Mike I said hi.
Yeah,
So,
we will. He was an
um,
outstanding guest.
Glenn,
Yeah.
the name of this guy is Glenn Morgan.
Okay.
Glenn Morgan Guitars.
I'll
And I
friend him
just
on
want to
Facebook.
I want to say thank you to Glenn Morgan too because
Thank you,
it's how
Glenn
I
Morgan.
met Bruce.
Yeah.
I
Absolutely.
met Bruce
That's
through
awesome.
Glenn Morgan.
Well, shout out to
Yeah.
Glenn too.
Yes.
I think we have Glenn coming on the show, Mike.
Oh, sweet.
There you go.
Look at him. He's
I
checking
think,
the schedule.
I think so. Let's see.
I would be
don't know.
remiss if I didn't give a shout out to Chris. He works
Glenn
his
Morgan.
ass off booking all you
Yeah,
guys
yeah,
and
yeah. Glenn
the
Morgan right
conversation you had on the phone, he was so excited about and
Yeah, I
he
called
got
him.
excited to call me. And to think that we started this together 2 years ago.
Wow.
And I meant to send him a text when he called me, but thank you for all the work you're doing, man.
Thank
Because
you.
it's not
Thank
easy.
you guys.
Yeah,
Both.
yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
it's so much fun, man, and it
It
takes
is.
all of us to make this happen.
Absolutely.
And I'm as
Well-
humble as they come, so I'm appreciative that anybody wants to do this with me. So
We
Yeah,
need
so-
guys like you, man. We
Thank
need
you.
guys like you.
We need more Chris and Mike.
The industry needs more
Yes.
Chris
Right?
and Mike.
Because it's all about you. So when you guys go on the road, if you come to Chicago, make sure you reach out to Mike. And if
Okay.
you come to Phoenix, you make sure you reach out to me. So I'll do a
Okay.
group text when we're done, so you guys can get Mike's number too.
Yeah, I got
because if
friends
you
in both those cities. So
yeah,
absolutely.
because you come to town, I want to come see you. I want to come hang out and jam. We'll bring the wife. And,
Absolutely.
you know.
That'd be
We will.
fantastic.
we will see you all
Yeah.
soon.
That'd be fantastic, man. Yeah.
All right, so everybody, so watch for Duval's EP to drop by the end of this year. You can find them on Facebook and YouTube.
YouTube.
And
Right.
again,
Yeah.
For Chris and Mike, we'll
And
wrap up every show.
Spotify and iTunes. Listen, we
Spotify and iTunes,
We're
yes.
going under Duval on Spotify, iTunes, and
Yep.
all the other streaming services. Some of them I've never
And,
even heard of.
And,
Cool,
and
right.
Bellachita Music
Bellachita, yep.
Marketing.
Yeah.
Oh
Yes.
yeah,
shout out to
Bruce,
them for sure.
Bruce sent us your logo, so we'll put that on the Facebook
Okay,
page as well.
cool.
So
Nice. All right.
don't
Awesome.
leave after I wrap up. We've got to make sure you guys are all good with the uploads
Yeah.
and stuff. So again,
Okay.
for the Chris and Mike show, I'm Chris. He's Mike. This is Dave and Brian from the band Duvel. If you're feeling depressed, suicidal, anxious, go scream in a pillow, go journal, go outside and run, go work out, do something that's going to change your mindset. Don't leave a hole in somebody's heart because you don't want to be here tomorrow because the world's better with you in it. Somebody does love you. Somebody will miss you. So remember that. Text 988 if you can't find somebody to talk to because somebody there is standing by waiting to talk you off that ledge. Again, for Chris and Mike, Dave and Brian, this is the Chris and Mike Show. Love you, brother. Love you guys.
too, man.
Love
Thank
you
you guys
guys.
so
Love you
much
guys.
for coming
Appreciate
on.
for being
Hey,
on.
thanks
Yeah.
for all you do, guys.
You as well. And
Thank you.
and for Bruce Gambino. Right on,
Thanks,
brother.
Bruce. We love you,
Yeah.
man.
Bruce.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.